So what I've been wanting to do is have an event that's run at a high level where the experience is top notch, where you can bring together mountain biking, road biking, gravel riding, everything, and get people to want to race, want to do their event, make it spectator friendly, and then hopefully get people to just want to hang out and not be in a rush to go home.
From KOM Cycling and Michigan Midpack Media, welcome to the Dirty Chain Podcast, the podcast that covers the cycling scene from the viewpoint of the Michigan Midpack. I am your host, Trevor, and on this episode, we get all of the details about the newly announced Belgian Waffle Ride Michigan that we heard about a couple months ago. Not only Belgian Waffle Ride Michigan, but also the MoMitt Festival. And later on the podcast, Jon Houlberg, director of MoMitt Festival and race director of Belgian Waffle Ride, also Traverse City local, takes us through all the details we want to know and then some about one of the most exciting events of the year. Before we talk about Belgian Waffle Ride and the MoMitt Festival, I have here with me friend of the podcast and cycling friend Tristan Smith. How's it going, Tristan?
I'm doing good. How are you, Trevor?
I'm doing great. Tristan, why did I invite you here this evening?
Well, we were getting sick of just listening to you, I think, and wanted to give you somebody to play off of, make it a little more interesting.
That is actually exactly what I said to you. To be honest, I recorded a whole intro to this episode, and I got just tired of just doing that on my own, and I thought, man, I need to have a sidekick, I guess. And earlier this week, or the weekend, last weekend, we saw Sheldon, and it was great to see him again. He had a quick turnaround, couldn't do any podcasting with him this time, but I thought, man, I miss having someone to kind of intro these episodes with, and we had plans to ride today, but they were quickly...
They were foiled, or at least for some of us that were in the group planning to ride. Mackenzie still stuck it out and got caught in the downpour, but
oh geez,
yeah, looked like a solo ride for her.
I mean, the weather's been pretty darn perfect this summer, but today decided to storm.
Yeah, it was. Got up to like 90 some degrees with a heat advisory, so it wasn't going to be ideal anyway. But then the rain really just pushed it over the edge for me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really want to talk about this now because I'm sure we will talk about this later, but you are kind of ramping up for a big race event coming up here in this month, right?
Yeah. 19 days as of recording, I think, away. I just signed up for the track leader, spot tracker. So it's getting real that I will be setting off on the long voyage of Gravel Worlds.
Yeah, that's exciting. Do you feel prepared?
No. God, no. No.
Only because you didn't ride tonight, right? Like, if you would have ridden tonight, you would have been on track.
I think we would have been talking a podium finish if I was out there grinding it out tonight, but who knows? I'm going to have to play a lot of catch up. Instead, I was on the trainer doing a little threshold work.
Did you get a trainer ride in?
Yep.
I couldn't.
That's why I was late.
I could not bring myself to. Well, my bike that's usually on the trainer is my road bike, which is now in the shop because it kind of is destroyed a little bit since my crash. But that would mean I would have had to like bring in my gravel bike, put it on the trainer, and I just did not. I couldn't do it. So I just.
You've had a couple good rides though this week, morning rides it looked like. So
yeah, I got at least one in. But yeah. Hey, I'm curious. When you heard the news of Belgian Waffle Ride coming to Michigan, what was your reaction?
I don't know how they're going to safely do it. I was excited. First off, I was excited. Just spread the stoke, fill in that late season gravel up in Traverse City, and then it worked towards where are they going to go? Mm-hmm. Like everything is sand coming out of there or super rough seasonal. So it'll be interesting to see what they do in terms of routes, and I'm excited to see the routes. I don't think I'm going to ride it, but I definitely want to partake in spectating and being around and seeing all the excitement.
Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of experience riding the seasonal roads in that area. I don't know which direction they're going. Like Sancho, which you've done several times out of Traverse City, which doesn't exist anymore now. But did it always go south?
Yep, Sancho goes pretty much south right out of there and drops down 75 miles or so. With the Belgian Waffle Ride only being somewhere in that 150 ballpark, presumably.
Yeah.
I would guess the 120 to 160 miles is usually their typical field house.
So yeah, Jon tells us all about that. I won't ruin it right now, but yeah, it's around that.
I have some hopes. I have some hopes for climbs. I just don't know how they could safely do it in terms of the descending part would be destructive, but the climb
because of the
rough and narrow seasonal roads.
I will say this: he claims that they're getting 10,000 feet of climbing.
That it is. I think it could be feasible in that range. It certainly is. It's there's some that I would bet then that it's going to go around down towards Glen Arbor, probably have some paved sectors up towards Sutton's Bay maybe, and then kind of loop around. But I think everything else beside if they go straight south, I think they end up sand. I guess I've never really gone or thought of going straight east, which could be gravel, but I don't know what it does in terms of elevation. But I think to get 10,000 feet, they have to go towards Sutton's Bay, up that way, and then back around through Glen Arbor.
So it sounds like to me that they have a pretty good idea of the course, and in true Belgian Waffle Ride fashion, that won't be revealed until right before. But it definitely sounds like a good mixture of terrains, which of course will include sand. So it's just you. How can you not, right?
Yeah, I think the difference is the short. It's going to be a little bit shorter of a distance, and then they're okay with linking paved sectors. So one of the things Sancho did was really, really minimize those paved sectors, and sometimes you have to compromise by having miles stretches of sand. So I doubt that we'll see that in Belgian Waffle, and it's certainly possible to do. One thing I'm super excited for is seeing the route and just finding a day after the race to give it a go.
Yeah, so you mentioned possibly just going up and spectating if you're not going to race it. But one thing I'm really excited about, and something that we touch on quite a bit, that I touch on quite a bit with Jon, is the MoMitt Festival, and how Belgian Waffle Ride is just kind of like a part of this whole weekend of events. And I think there's some really exciting things happening with that, from kids events for all ages, and one's like I think it's the Black Chili cross country race, and instead of like an Iceman style where it's a point to point, he's looking at doing a kind of an XCO style where it's a circuit, few mile circuit, and so very spectator friendly and just something that don't really have up there. So that'll be going on Saturday, along with some other events. So to just say that this whole thing is specifically all about Belgian Waffle Ride, I think is not quite right. It's the whole experience of the whole weekend, which, as you will hear, is kind of Jon's whole vision in this whole thing. So
definitely sounds cool. The Belgian Waffle Ride, for me, it takes where I get my news source, or that Facebook feed. That's what's coming my way on it. But yeah, when you dive into how it was brought to Michigan and you see the rest of the excitement with it, I mean, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, getting more people on bikes, gathering about bikes, excited about bikes, and a full-on festival or weekend of it is really quite special.
Yeah, for sure. Exciting. Well, I mean, I don't know what else we have to talk about it. I mean, we're going on, and I talked to the expert, so why don't we just have him tell us the details? Real quick though, before we get to that, there is Jon was gracious enough to give us a coupon code for any of those non-Belgian Waffle Ride events. So the XCO event, and then some of the other, I think there's a shorter gravel race on Saturday, and some of the kids events. But if you're interested in that, you can use code DirtyChain30 off, and you get $30 off of your registration. So thank you, Jon, for that. And yeah, let's hear from the expert, from Jon Houlberg and Belgian Waffle Ride Michigan and the MoMitt Festival. Thank you, Tristan.
Thank you for having me.
Did you happen to get any riding in this weekend? I mean, I know that there was a race not too far from Traverse, kind of down in Manton. A lot of people were down in did the Manton Divide. Have you ever done that race?
Yeah, I did. I wanted to do it this year. I did it last year. My friend Garrett Genema and I, we battled all the way to the end, and he ended up leaving me the last 2 miles or whatever it was. I think it was. So I came in second. He got first, but he's got 20 years on me, so that's okay.
Yeah, it looked like I think it's Drew. He's a TC guy. I think he came in second this year, or yesterday, or whatever day it was. Yeah. He's a young kid. He just graduated high school here, and he's getting ready to go to U of M. Cool. He's a good kid. Yeah, he's kind of an anomaly. He's like a kid from this young generation that prefers road riding, over mountain biking. So, yeah, I mean, and there's not a lot of road riding opportunity right now. That's stating the obvious, but I guess if you're going to road ride, I mean, Traverse City is like one of the best places to. I think we were talking the other day about how if you live in Traverse City, you need a dedicated road bike because the roads up there are so perfect to ride on.
Yeah, if you love biking, it's hard to just have one bike here. I mean, it's hard to just have two bikes here. I mean, if you really like biking, you really need a minimum of 3 bikes.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, you do, because the road riding is so good, and trying to get away with that on a gravel bike is really tough. I'm trying to do that right now. I just let go of my road bike. I'll be getting a new one in the future, but the road riding here is fantastic. And I mean, I grew up in Southern California where we had awesome roads. I mean, there still are good roads out there, but the difference between like road riding in California, Utah, Colorado, and here is when you're road biking out there, you're really, for the most part, you get stuck on these longer highways. And there's no just like turning left and turning right. and mixing it up. Out here, you can be on Old Mission Peninsula, you can be in Leelanau County, and you can make a left, right, whatever. You can mix up your ride, and it's going to be awesome. I mean, you can grab elevation if you want, or some hills if you want, and you can get off the busy roads very easily. So that's what makes it really, and it's pretty out here too. So
yeah, for sure. And I'm guessing like most of the people that listen to this podcast are probably from Michigan or familiar with Michigan. But I mean, if you live in Michigan, chances are you've probably vacationed up in Traverse City or you've been there before. And if you're listening to this podcast, you've probably ridden bikes in Traverse City. I mean, from anywhere from Iceman doing a lot of the Vasa Trail and other things like that. But then, man, I experienced some of those roads years ago doing the Cherry Roubaix and that Leelanau Peninsula. Some of those paved roads in the Leelanau Peninsula are just amazing. Some of the best road riding, I think, in the state it's up there in the Leelanau Peninsula, kind of around Traverse City for sure.
Yeah, and then similarly, the mountain biking is in the same sense is awesome because the great mountain biking up here is the unmarked trails. So if you're vacationing up here, and you want a mountain bike, and even if you do a little bit of homework, you'll find the VST or Bunker Hill Trailhead and or VST Trailhead, like I said, off Supply Road, and you can go do that marked trail. But what you really need to do is when you see a section of trail just veering off, you need to go get on that. You're still going to be on state land, and that unmarked trail is some of the best. And even if you get lost, like that's the whole point. I mean, I've lived for 6-7 years now, and I still get lost out there. You just, when your time's up, you just kind of look at where the sun is, and you just start heading back the direction you need to go. You just start heading west again. So,
that's funny. So I think it was a few weeks ago, I was up there, and buddy of mine and I were riding Vasa. I think it was at that off of Supply Road trailhead, and I think it was Sunday morning or something. It was a week before the TC Trail Fest,
right?
And all of a sudden, I hear like 20 people behind me, and huge crew of riders come through, and they're just hauling, and my buddy Scott was kind of up the trail a little bit, and he said, he tried to keep him off, and then he just kind of got off the trail and waited for me. And then like when I made my way up and found Scott on the trail, he's like, "Look at this! They turned down this trail, and it wasn't even it was overgrown. It wasn't marked." And he's like, "All these guys just went down this unmarked trail down here." So I'm not sure that's exactly like what you were saying, and I'm not sure if they were like trying out some of the route for the Traverse City Trail Fest or what.
Did you say this was like a week ago Sunday?
Oh, it was the week before the festival. So it was
the week
probably
before the festival. And was it on Sunday?
It was on Sunday. So were you riding with them?
That's my crew. That was us.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's what you witnessed. That was that's the best group ride in town, man. That's Dirt Church. So Dirt Church typically starts every Sunday 9 or 10 a.m. and it usually starts on that side of town. Sometimes it might be in the city or it might be on the west side, but usually it's over there in the Vasa. So yeah, we were pre-riding the Trail Fest trail. That was, I think, Craig Webb. He came out, and it's pretty much Craig Webb and Jeff Owens that were kind of leading us out that day. But usually Dirt Church is led by the one and only Tim Pulliam. I don't know if you've met him before.
No.
Oh man. Well, if you ever come to Traverse City, you got to meet this dude. You got to come out and ride.
Yeah. Very cool. So John, why are we talking right now? Like what are we doing here? Big news dropped like a few months ago. I was kind of looking back and seeing when the news dropped. It was kind of late May. I believe, that it dropped, and it was pretty perfect timing, if you ask me. It was right on the heels of coming off of San Diego Belgian Waffle Ride, and that was early May. And of course, we had a local legend, Alexei Vermeulen, won that big race. Is a huge win. So there was some excitement, some Belgian Waffle Ride excitement, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, some news has dropped that Michigan is going to host a Belgian Waffle Ride. I had heard some rumors, some people talking about it, but I think no one was quite sure about the details. And I think there's probably still some details that people are wondering, what is this thing? What is it going to look like? What's the MoMitt festival? So you reached out and said, hey, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the weekend. Let's talk about the Belgian Waffle Ride. But and I absolutely, we're excited. Michigan is excited, and I want to know more about how it came to be, what it's going to look like, what's this festival all about. But first, let's start off with you. Like, what is your role in this whole picture, and why are you the guy to talk to and give us these details?
Sure. So about a year ago, I realized that I wanted to create like more of an event that I grew up with in Southern California. So when I was younger, I would and when I got into bike racing, it was kind of when mountain biking first started. I transitioned from BMX riding to mountain biking, and the big event that really blew my mind was the Sea Otter Classic. Mm-hmm. And that's up in the middle of California, Laguna Seca Raceway. If you haven't been out there, it's out in the middle of nowhere. So we would show up.
I was just actually, don't mean to interrupt, I was there for the first time this year. Yeah, it was pretty incredible.
Well, I haven't been there in 20 years. So I can only imagine. I've seen the pictures and the video. When I was there, it was big, but it was just it was a mountain bike race. What made it unique was that you got to show up, and people were there at least 2 days, at least 2 nights, and you got to eat pasta and basically shake hands and meet the pros and hang out with them the day before the races. And then that would be typically on Friday. Saturday would be the big cross-country mountain bike race, and then afterward, nobody was in a rush to leave. People would take their kits off, hang out, they'd watch the pro race, and they would stay again Saturday night. So it was like a festival, and it was awesome. The third year I went, they started adding more events. They added dual slalom racing, and it just kind of, the point is, it just kind of stuck with me as far as having a big event where you had an opportunity to hang out with pros, watch them, do your race, and then be able to meet them and talk with them afterward. So I hadn't seen anything really like that until I moved out here to Traverse City, and then obviously did the Iceman, immediately after moving here, and saw this huge spectacle out here, and it like filled this void that I had been missing for so long, man. I loved it. I mean, the Iceman out here is like the Super Bowl,
right?
The problem though is awesome as it is, having it in November, because you don't know what the weather's going to bring, and that's what we love about it up here. We love not knowing that, mm-hmm. not knowing, what tires to throw on, what bike to use, and all of that. That's part of the fun. But the problem is, come 4 p.m., everyone's grabbing their stuff, they're leaving, no one's hanging out, and there might be some private parties here and there, but because of the weather, everyone kind of departs. So what I've been wanting to do is have an event that's run at a high level, where the experience is top notch, where you can bring together mountain biking, road road biking, gravel riding, everything, and get people to want to race, want to do their event, make it spectator friendly, and then hopefully get people to just want to hang out and not be in a rush to go home. So, so after going down to, I think it was North Carolina last year, I started talking to Michael Marks. He's the founder of Belgian Waffle Ride. And we just started talking about, you know, how BWR started and his background. It turns out we're from the same neck of the woods. BWR actually started, it was a pancake ride in Ventura County where I grew up. And I think his buddy started it. And then he ended up taking that and turning that into the Belgian Waffle Ride down in Encinitas. And his whole point was taking the Paris-Roubaix and having a Paris-Roubaix with an American twist on it, you know, here in the U.S. And after seeing the event in North Carolina and seeing how well it was put together especially for being a first-year event, knowing they had done, you know, their BWR in San Diego for a decade, I was really blown away at how well it was done, how good the experience was. There was a bunch of little things that I picked up on that I thought were top notch, from just being handed out water bottles, you know, while out on course, to showing up to a feed station, to getting a brand new filled water bottle, not even just being able to like get a cup of water, like brand new water bottle. Here you go, swapping out, to, you know, cars rolling up and motorcycles rolling up with video cameras, live footage, to at the very end of the race being handed a cold, wet towel to cool off and seeing your results on a LED screen instead of a piece of paper stapled to a telephone pole. So I was complimenting him on all of that stuff, and I told him what I was trying to build in Traverse City, and that just led to us talking. And I think it was after our second conversation, you just asked me, I think it was after our second conversation, he started talking like he wanted to do a BWR in Michigan. And at the end of it, I said, hey, do you want to do one here? And he basically said, yeah, why not? Let's do it. And like, okay, it basically went from just friendly, just talking to let's put together another event, in your state.
It sounds like you were interested in, how a race like the BWR is put together, and you're just asking him about the details and the direction and all of these things, and then it kind of turned into, well, let's just bring a Belgian Waffle Ride to Michigan instead of starting from scratch, kind of.
Right.
So I was at the Asheville Belgian Waffle Ride. That was my first BWR experience. Was the I guess it was like Hendersonville, or what was the?
Yeah, you're right. It's not really in.
But they call it Asheville, North Carolina. So
Hendersonville or Cayuga.
Yeah, Cayuga. Yep. And that was, what a cool experience.
Right.
Do you have a experience with the original San Diego race? Have you done that one as well?
Yeah. I was out there racing this year, and I helped those guys set up the event, and then got to do the race with, I think there was about 10 of us from Michigan. There was probably more, but there was a big chunk of guys from Michigan out there, including Alexi, of course. Yeah,
sure. And I'm with you. I think there's something about I love grassroots races. There's something so awesome about your local race and your kind of like your local community and supporting your local community. But there's something special also about kind of going to a bigger race and experiencing what it's like to I don't know, line up on the same line as an Alexi, as a Stetna, and then like finishing and seeing how much of a spectacle it is. I mean, it's something special, and it's cool that Michigan has so many opportunities to race and to ride, from those local grassroots races to an Iceman, and now like a national race like the Belgian Waffle Ride coming here. I think it's a really cool opportunity.
Yeah, and so what the MoMitt Bike Fest is, it's encompassing both of those things. I mean, this, like, I live here. This is my home, and so it's going to be some grassroots events and a grassroots festival that will forever be here, while combining an event that has been around for 11 years. That is the biggest gravel or mixed terrain series in North America.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really, really cool. And I think you're right. I think it's one thing to be able to go an event or go to a race and be able to race against your friends, and being able to push yourself against your friends and celebrate cycling however you see fit. But it's really cool to be able to line up with people that you don't recognize, kits you don't recognize, and to get into groups where you don't know anybody. I think it's 10 times the fun, and that's when you really are even more challenged, because you don't know what to expect, when you're out there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know that you live in Traverse City now, and we were kind of talking about like Iceman and then like the different trails and things that Traverse City and the roads that Traverse City has to offer. But why is Traverse City a good fit for this festival and then for Belgian Waffle Ride to come in? Like, why Traverse City?
Because I live here. No, because because the buzz for cycling here is as big as it was when I grew up, when mountain biking first started, and maybe it's big throughout the country. I mean, we know cycling, especially gravel riding and gravel racing, is growing exponentially, but I feel like the buzz here for all generations, from children just going out there on their striders to people in their 80s getting out there, is huge. And I think it's because out of all the outdoor activities you can do here, biking is probably the number one activity. I think other places in the country, like California, people will surf, people will backpack, and and people bike out there too. And I think those activities are pretty split. But it seems like here where we live, although most people do all types of different activities, I think biking is by far the most popular, and it has to do with our network. We have this TART network of trail paths that get you all the way up to Leelanau County, over to across Grand Traverse County, over to Antrim County. So just endless bike paths to just go out there with your family, to the trails, to the roads. I mean, there's just so much opportunity there. So I think because of all that and how popular it is, we have all of these groups of cyclists and all of these clubs. I mean, we have something like 7 or 8 bike shops here. I mean, which is a ton for the size of our community. So I think because of all of those things, a bike festival and a BWR is a great fit here. And it's also probably why the Iceman has been so successful for over 3 decades.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree. I mean, I think you don't need to convince me that Traverse City is the right place to put this festival, but I think it's a good question. Just between the roads that we were talking about and the incredible scenery and everything. I mean, it is the place to have it for sure. I'm going to be honest with you. When I first heard that BWR was coming into Michigan, I was a little skeptical and wondering like how this came about. And I think it's easy to be protective of the state you live in and of the cycling community. And I think initially I was like, well, do we want an outsider coming in?
Right.
And I'm guessing I'm not the only one that thought that. It's as exciting. It was like a mixture of like excitement and then like kind of skepticism of like, who's this outsider? What are they doing? Like, how is this going to work? I am now, after talking to you, after like hearing about the MoMitt festival and all of this, that skepticism has left. I feel like this is, as much of a local community event as it is a big national race. It's kind of both and, which I think is a really cool model, and important for it to work in Traverse City.
Yeah, I got to work with to that point. I got to work with Ryan Kennedy on building up the volunteer support to help put on the first Ironman here in Traverse City. A couple years ago, pre-pandemic. And that was really interesting because kind of similarly, it's this big conglomerate.
Right, exactly.
Coming in, and part of you is excited and part of you is apprehensive, and there were already triathlons here in Traverse City, and there's plenty in the state, for people to go to compete in. But I think what people were excited about was just that opportunity to be a part of something that is big, be a part of something that isn't just nationally recognized, but that's world renowned. Even if they're not into getting points to move on to the next Ironman, they just want to be part of the mystique. And so it was really cool to be able to be a part of that and to see how that was put together and to see how those two things kind of meshed, because I also was able to see, I think, a lot of issues that were exposed when this bigger company came in, and they didn't necessarily talk to the right people, and they didn't necessarily talk to the right communities, and essentially got booted out of Traverse City. And Ironman is now in Frankfurt because of that. So hoping that doesn't happen. I'm hoping the support continues, and I'm confident that people will be stoked about the overall Bike Fest and will be stoked when they come and whether they ride in the BWR or the Black Chili mountain bike race. If they just come down and check out the festival, I'm hoping that they'll be happy and they'll want to see this continue as well. Yeah, so like I mentioned, there were some lessons learned when I saw the Ironman come here. And I think my partners in California see that as well. They have been looking at building a a bike festival in California, with the BWR being a part of that. And BWR San Diego is already so big. I mean, that in itself is a 3-day event. But even those guys, they do it all. They mountain bike, they ride road, they ride, mixed terrain, gravel. So I think being a part of a bike festival with someone that lives here, that is, part of the community, like me, they know is going to make the BWR here more special. It's going to have a better fit. So I'm not necessarily the guy that, knows everybody, and I'm certainly not the person that knows the best of everything either. But I have been racing a long time, and I have been part of biking a long time, and I'm part of a lot of great groups of cyclists here in Traverse City. So I think having a feel, for that and being a part of the community is going to help make the BWR special here.
Yeah, let's talk about the festival a little bit. You mentioned the Black Chili mountain bike race. What other offerings in terms of racing is happening on the weekend?
Yeah, so instead of trying to reinvent the wheel and have another point A to point B mass start race or a long big loop race, I wanted to bring kind of a short course XC cross country race that has some features built in, that's spectator friendly to Michigan. So it's something that we don't have, and so when it came to building a mountain bike race, I just wanted to do something different. So this is going to be a 3 to 4 mile loop, and it's going to be multi-lap. And right there from the center of the expo and the finish line, the spectator should be able to see about a mile of the outbound of the Black Chili XC, and they should see about a half mile of the inbound, the return of each lap. So I think that's going to be awesome. It's going to make the racer or the rider feel like they're part of a rock concert rather than just being out lost in the woods and not seeing anybody for a half an hour, Yeah,
and so that is that's happening on Saturday then?
Correct. Yeah. So Saturday, October 8th, is going to be the Black Chili XC. Also building a dual slalom event that's going to happen on Saturday as well.
Oh, wow.
There's also going to be events dedicated just to kids, from little kids out there on their balance bikes to kids that are just taking off the training wheels. And then if people haven't been to a BWR before, for those that haven't been there before, they'll also be able to come out on Saturday, not just check out the mountain bike race, but be able to pick up their packets. They'll be able to go to the podium and get a big debrief on the course, and be able to talk to some pros. They'll be able to help figure out their tire choices and tire pressure and all of that good stuff. And then that's just going to continue on throughout Saturday, going into some live music. And with all of the festivities, there's going to be a large beer tent out there. We got Jolly Pumpkin Brewing that is sponsoring the event.
Perfect.
And yeah, we'll have 3 outside bars as well as an area inside for people to come and to get their favorite type of beer, and I'm sure they're going to have North Peak beer out there as well. And we'll have a couple of food trucks as well for people to hang out and to choose from.
This is all at Mount Holiday area. Where's the venue?
Yeah, the venue's at Mount Holiday.
Okay.
So, and if you haven't been out here before, it's on the east side of town. I think it's one of only 7 nonprofit ski resorts in the country. So it's a special resort that we have out here in Traverse City, and it's really popular in the wintertime. And basically it's on the side of town where people will be able to, it doesn't matter what hotel they're staying at or what campground they're staying at. People will be able to get on the Tart Trail and ride right over to Mount Holiday very easily. We'll also have plenty of parking available there at the resort as well. Yeah. And then come Sunday morning, the start of the BWR is going to be right there at Mount Holiday as well. People can expect to show up at 5 a.m. if they want to start engulfing themselves with some waffles and get some coffee in them. And it sounds like you've been to North Carolina before, so you know what to expect. But
yep, I definitely had a few waffles before the race. Yeah, for sure. And some afterwards too.
Yeah, how can you not? I mean, it's all about getting as much calories in you.
I'm pretty sure I had waffles during. I mean, because they were handing out like normal waffles, and then they had like the small ones in packages that you could just throw in your jersey pocket.
Right.
But
right.
Yeah, so yeah, that is a key feature for Belgian Waffle Ride, of course. So I'm glad that'll be happening pre-ride for sure.
Yeah, that's going to continue. Good. So Sunday is going to be the highlight event, the BWR, and the full waffle will be kicking off at 7 a.m. And the course is going to be...
Yeah, let's talk about the course. Let's talk about as much as you feel comfortable letting us know. I know that this is a big question people have. Of course, Belgian Waffle Ride historically is a pretty good mixture of paved, unpaved. They claim it's not a gravel race, but it is a multi-surface race. And Traverse City has multiple surfaces to work with. I think one of the big surfaces that people are wondering is, well, how much sand are we talking here? You know, there's a lot of sand that if you kind of go off the beaten path, you're going to run into sand. So I think people are wondering, like, I mean, it said on the website that you can expect like still 130 miles ish. Is that correct?
We're closer to 142 miles.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. And you can expect 10,000 feet of elevation gain throughout the day. 55%.
That is surprise. I mean, I guess if you're getting up to 140 miles, maybe that 10K is like makes a little more sense, but that's a lot of elevation. Right.
Well, I mean, that's part of the formula of the event. I mean, first of all, you got to look at what makes this place special, and it's it's getting off the beaten path, and you can't hide from the elements either. So if we have sand, you better embrace it. I mean, you got to expect it. So you're right. It's not a gravel race, and if you haven't been to a BWR before, and if this is the first one, you'll probably hear plenty of people bitching that this isn't a gravel race, and you'll hear plenty of us organizers kind of yell back, "You're right. It's the Belgian Waffle Ride." It's not a gravel race. And again, the whole point is to more so mimic a Paris-Roubaix, which is supposed to be a mix of nasty cobblestone, dirt sectors, and road, and it's supposed to be a long day.
Yeah.
So each one of these BWRs is they're all unique, and what's going to make this one unique is the single track that we're going to have incorporated in it. It's going to be the amount of dirt. So this is going to be 55% unroad, which is going to include gravel. It's going to include 2-track. It's going to include single track. There's also going to be some sand where if you're on 30C tires, you're going to be CXing this event. You're going to be grabbing your bike and you're going to be running through that sand. I don't care how much power you got in those legs, but good luck with 30C tires. It's not happening.
You heard it here, folks. Good luck with 30C tires.
Yeah. But that's how it is. If you're out in San Diego and you're a pro, I mean, you're going to want to be on a road bike, and you're going to want to be on 28 or 30 tires. But Alexei, proved that differently this last season. He wasn't on those typical size tires out there.
Was he?
So
I think he rode it was close to 40s, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody knew till the day of course. He had a secret bike and secret tires, and all that got unveiled.
Yep.
That morning of. Yeah. So like I was mentioning, you can expect about 140 miles. You can expect some elevation, and you can expect a large mix of terrain. So, in my opinion, I think you're going to want to be on a gravel bike, and I think you're going to want to have at least 40C tires.
Yeah, good to know. Good to know. And it's kind of what I think most people were figuring. That would be the case. But, it is interesting. I mean, if it's 50% unroad, it's also about 50% road. And, so you kind of want to think about, you don't want, maybe 650B isn't quite the direction you want to go. I don't know. I mean, it's a good question. And that's what makes Belgian Waffle Ride so interesting, is there's usually never the perfect answer to the question. And that's what makes it fun.
Right.
But
I was going to tell you, how I first heard about your podcast?
Well, you said Paul, mutual friend.
Yes.
Paul Olson. Yeah.
Yes. The Dirty Chain podcast. So our good friend up here, fellow cyclist, Paul Olson, he's a big legend up here. He's an old school BMXer as well, and turned into I think he's probably more of a roadie now. He's probably more of a roadie. He gets a lot of flack from us, but the guy rides everything, and he's been telling me for a long time. He's like, you gotta check out the Dirty Chain, man. So he's a big fan.
Yeah, cool. And I mean that ties in Jolly Pumpkin a little bit, because he's like the head chef of the whole Jolly Pumpkin conglomerate, right? I mean, he's a big deal over there. And that's kind of, I know him through the podcast a little bit, and then he was down in East Lansing when they were putting in a Jolly Pumpkin, and we did a bunch of riding down in this area. So let's go back to the festival and the date. It's still kind of fall-ish, so we were talking about weather and things, so there's still kind of a chance that we could be experiencing some weather issues. In your mind, do you think that the MoMitt Festival is a fall festival, or would you like it to maybe be a staple a little earlier in the year? I mean, I feel like Traverse City has Iceman, and that's a fall staple. So, are you looking to keep MoMitt in or a Belgian Waffle Ride as a fall ride, or are you open to thinking about other things in the future?
Yeah, no, I'll be honest with you. Originally, I was looking at doing a summer event. And originally, when talking to my friends with BWR, I mean, that's what they wanted to do too. And and the further we went into planning, the further we went into figuring out the logistics, and then also catering to, well, what makes Traverse City special, and also sharing with them, the beautiful photos and the terrain up here. These guys kept looking at how beautiful it is in the fall, and they kept sharing with me like, hey, where can we, get on some trail that looks like this, or where can we get on some road that looks like that? And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, everything we keep talking about has to do with the fall. And the more I think about it, I mean, it is awesome as it would be to celebrate cycling, having a big event here in the summer. People up here are in their prime shape in the fall. And I don't think it's like that everywhere in the country. I think most people start hitting their peaks more maybe in August. But up here, everyone in general is getting geared up for the Iceman. It doesn't matter if you typically race road or mountain bike or whatever. Everyone does that event. So thinking along those lines and thinking of how beautiful it is up here in the fall, I mean, that really is the best time to go get lost on some mixed terrain, is that time of year. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, Michigan in the fall is my favorite time of year. So it makes sense that you would want to feature that time and that area combined. And yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me. It gets difficult. I'm sure it was difficult, but I see each year the schedules, like the gravel schedules and the racing schedule. I mean, we've seen in the last couple of years, like kind of a road racing, crits, all this stuff kind of dying, and then gravel racing kind of taking its place. And there were a few handful here and there, and then pandemic hit, and then like some of them went away. We didn't have much racing, and now it's like full force. And I'm sure as a race director, as a trying to figure out the right weekend to do a festival and a race, it gets difficult because there's so many races now. And I mean, one of the things that I've been thinking about with BWR is the week before there's a big gravel race, the Moran 166, which is also a huge, like a long distance, and a lot of people in the area will probably be there to take on that race as well. So we have like these big long distance races back to back, and it can't be easy to try to figure out the perfect weekend. I'm sure that's a difficult thing for a director or anyone to figure out.
Right. Yeah, it is. I mean, and you also want to take into consideration, I mean, you don't want to step on certain, people's toes.
Right,
so Jason Lowitz, who does the Moran 160 or 166?
166. Yeah.
166. Yeah. He's a friend of mine, and I definitely took that into consideration as well. But and then the other part of it too is the BWR. I mean, we're talking about not just a big regional event. We're talking about a national event too. So you're taking into consideration other big national races, national events too. And so in conjunction with that, this weekend seemed to be a real good fit as well. And I'm sure it's going to continue in the future.
Tell me about the response that you've received, or the news received. I'm sure a lot of local people are excited and interested. How about like nationally? Have you seen a good response nationally in terms of who's been signing up and that?
Oh, well, absolutely. I got a text from Alexi the day we announced it. I had been talking to him months prior about this event too. But no, he texted me immediately afterward. Of course, was wondering like, where are we going? What's the course? And he's very strong with his opinions, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. Smart, real smart guy. And I mean, current BWR champion. Iceman champion. I mean, he's the man. So I'm really happy to know that he's going to be making it out here. Fingers crossed. Yeah. I mean, anything can happen, but he's planning on coming out here. Peter Stetna as well.
Oh, great.
Yeah, another former, world champion cyclist, in his own right, and current BWR champion, from North Carolina. So
very good. Yeah. And do you have a cap? Is there like how full of a race are you looking to have, or are you capping it out at a certain number?
Yeah, all the events are limited, and they're limited for a couple of reasons. One, we want to make sure that this is done right, and the community's happy, and the riders are happy. So all the mountain bike events that are happening on Saturday, in total, there's not going to be more than 1,000 riders registered. That's going to be capped. And then same thing on Sunday as well. All of the events on Sunday will be capped at 1,000. And that's to provide a really good experience, make sure we do that right. And it's also to make sure, people aren't, parking out on residential streets and and pissing off the locals. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. Now, what can those that sign up for either the races on Sunday, the waffle or the wafer, what can they expect in terms of communication leading up? And I'm asking specifically about if you've ever experienced a Belgian Waffle Ride. Well, you've probably experienced the race Bible, and it's spelled like, I don't know, BEIJEL or something. But can BWR Michigan racers expect to receive a BWR Michigan Bible before the race?
Yes, you can expect a lot of communication. So if you've already signed up, you're going to be getting an email at least once a week on an update of what's going on. And you'll be getting a full Bible at least a month out before the race starts. That's going to have all the info you need on what to expect.
Great.
Yep. So some more specifics on the course, and as well as all the recommendations for tires, pressure, how to get that info, type of bike that, if you're on the fence of a couple different bikes, depending on the kind of rider you are, you should be able to fine tune, all of those questions and all of those needs. So
great.
Yep.
And if you haven't experienced a Bible yet, I'm excited for all of you that will, because it's not only informative, but it's one of the most entertaining ways to communicate information. It's always the writing is always kind of I don't know. It's just very entertaining. I'll leave it at that. So I'm excited to see the Bible for this course or for this event.
Yeah, no, it's it's cool that you brought that up. For those that have been to other big events, big national events, whether it's Unbound, whether it's Leadville, the Sea Otter, like we were talking about, which is, that is basically hundreds of events all put together. I think what separates those big national events from the BWR is the BWR is run at just as high of a level, if not even higher, as far as the overall experience. But at the same time, the people running it, they're not taking themselves too serious, and the whole idea is not to take yourself too serious on the bike. It's about getting after it, racing your ass off, and at the same time, smiling and thanking the person next to you that's going to get on the front for you, and taking the kid off when you're done and enjoying some beer and some waffles and some good humor. So I think when you're reading the Bible and when you're getting a glimpse of some of these emails and you'll see these silly names and you'll kind of hear or feel that humor, that's because that embodies what the event's all about.
Yeah. And I think that's great. I'm glad you brought that up. And that is, when I experienced Belgian Waffle Ride, that's how I felt. It was serious, but then it's also not too serious. And we're stuffing our faces with waffles before we line up, for God's sakes. It's more about experiencing the ride and the community, and race your ass off, but also make sure you have a good time while you're doing it, and and don't take yourself too seriously, for sure.
Right. Well, and I think that's the American way, right? There's plenty of uptight Europeans out there. They got that type of racing nailed down. We're in the U.S. We're all essentially kind of cowboys. We go out there, and I think, are proud of our grit, right? And that's kind of like what the BWR encompasses. It's getting out there and being proud of that grit, and it's smiling through it at the same time.
What's MoMitt? Mitt makes sense. Michigan. It's the
MoMitt.
It's just like a little MoMitt for what is what's the Mo in the mitt?
What's the Mo in the mitt? It's just about it's more.
Yeah,
it's like
more mitt.
More mitten.
Yeah.
No, MoMitt. So it's the MoMitt Bike Fest. It's going to be Mo bike riding. It's going to be Mo racing, Mo fun. It's all of that, and essentially, it's just a silly name,
Yeah.
So,
well, Jon, this is perfect. I think we covered a lot of information. I mostly appreciated kind of the background to this whole, how did Belgian Waffle Ride even how did this even happen? And I think I really appreciate you sharing that and sharing with all the listeners, how did this come to be? And I am excited to see how this goes, and I hope that I'm sure it'll be a huge success. Hopefully, as we get closer to it, maybe we can check back in, or maybe check in afterwards and see how everything went. And I think hopefully this isn't the end of our conversation about BWR Michigan, for sure.
No, I think we'll have to. I think we'll have to do more of these. Yeah, if you don't mind. And in the meantime, if you haven't gone to the website yet, or if you want more info, just go to momittbikefest.com. You'll see all the events on there. And like you mentioned, these events are all capped, so you're going to want to register today. And for anyone listening right now, if you want to take advantage of registering early, I'd like to offer all the Dirty Chain listeners a $30 off coupon code for all of the non-BWR events. So if they're racing in the BWR, maybe sign up your friend, wife, or kid, for one of the bike events, the day before on Saturday. But that coupon code is Dirty Chain 30 off. And
is that all one word or?
Yep.
Okay.
All one word. Dirty Chain 30 off. When you go to Bike Reg and you see all the events, go ahead and plug that in and take advantage.
Very cool. Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah. But I'd love to talk about it, more. Again, I mean, a couple of things was the Black Chili XC. I don't know if I'm assuming most of your listeners have heard of Cayenne Olschlav. He just got done racing at Snowshoe this last weekend. He's on the U.S. team, big up and coming mountain biker. He's going to be out there racing the Black Chili XC.
Oh, great!
And that guy is just dominant in mountain biking. He's going to be winning the Iceman, if not this year, for years to come. And then we have plenty of big top 20 gravel riders like Garrett Genema and Sean Kickbush. These guys are going to be racing the mountain bike event on Saturday and then getting after it on Sunday. And, if you want to really be a part of the festivities, why not?
Yeah.
So come join us and have fun, man. It's going to be awesome.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Jon. Appreciate the time, and thank you for sharing all about MoMitt and BWR. We're excited.
Hey, thank you. And next time we talk, I'd love to bring with me Michael Marks and introduce you to the founder of BWR and get some more details out there on what's to come here in Michigan.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, man.
The Dirty Chain Podcast is a Michigan Midpack media production in partnership with KOM Cycling, the source for your bike accessories and necessities. Connect with us on Instagram and Facebook at Dirty Chain Podcast. Email dirtychainpodcast@gmail.com. If you are enjoying this podcast, please leave us a rating and review on whatever platform you use to listen. Audio editing and original music by myself, Trevor Gibney. A huge thank you to Jon Houlberg for joining us on this episode, and thank you all for listening to the Dirty Chain Podcast. And as always, keep your chain clean, but get your chain dirty. We will see you in the Midpack.